I'm Matt Cleathermos, and I'm here yet again to do another underrated movie review. Today I am doing a Redux for the cult classic 1990 Captain America. That's right, Captain America came out in 1990. Now, Captain America did not do well. It did not get a theatrical release. It was going to get a theatrical release, but it didn't. First off, I'm going to tell you about the movie, and then I'm going to tell you why I like this movie, and I'm going to tell you the problems that the film suffered, but why I think that this film is a good film. Captain America came out in 1990. The year after, it was the second Marvel comic book produced movie. This is a low-budget, independently produced movie. It was shot in Canada and in Italy. Also, it came out the year after the movie Punisher, which this was the first two Marvel comic book movies. This is a bootleg that I made, printed out the cover, and put on the DVD. Captain America 1990 stars Matt Salinger, Scott Pollan, Ronnie Cox, and Ned Beatty. It does have a wham-bang cast. It's a very wham-bang kind of movie. I fucking love it, okay? There's a lot of people that hate it. I don't hate this movie. Not by a long shot. The people that hate this movie, I could give a fuck that you hate it, okay? I know why people hate it, okay? They don't like the costume design. I like the costume design. Sure, it's low budget. Sure, it has a few cheesy moments, but in my opinion, that's passable. It's a wham-bang kind of movie, and I'll do that in a Christopher Walken accent. It's a wham-bang kind of movie. I like it. So, you know, Captain America is wham-bang. Woo! So, Captain America has a runtime of approximately an hour and a half. And Matt Salinger plays Steve Rogers in Captain America, pictured here on the cover. Due to copyright and stuff, I don't show a lot of clips from films and stuff because I don't want to violate copyright. Ooh. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to violate copyright. But what Donald Reed, the Academy of Horror, Science Fiction, and Fantasy, one of the founders of it, says, he says it's top-rate, entertaining fun for the entire family. There are people that really like this movie. They exist, and I'm one of them. It was directed by Albert Pyhon and produced by Mannheim Golan. Mannheim Golan, he helped produce a lot of low-budget movies in the 80s and 90s. The same year that this came out, he actually produced the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. Mannheim Golan did. He also produced... I believe he also helped produce Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I'm one of those people that I really like cult movies. This is a movie, how I discovered it is when I was a little boy. I watched a lot of movies, and I turned on Encore, the Encore movie channel. Encore is always great because they show a lot of old movies on there. And I saw it, and I saw this superhero like this, with this outfit on. And I mean, I love this cover right here too. I mean, this was on the VHS, and this is a bootleg DVD. This is exactly what he wears in the comic book. It's like, I love this. This is fairly true to the comic book origins. They did change a few things up. It followed the Captain America comics from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s primarily, and they kind of changed a few things up. It stayed pretty true to the actual comic book origins in that. I think it was cool that they filmed it in Canada and Italy. And the thing is, they also made Canada up to look like America, so they did a pretty good job at doing that. Stan Lee actually was the executive producer on this. And the plot of the film is this, which is pretty straightforward as far as the plot goes. And I'll read the plot to people that are watching this review, anybody that wants to see this. I don't know why, but I kind of make these reviews for myself. It's really corny, but I hope that some people watch these, because if they don't, then what's the point of me making them? Am I just making them for my fucking self to watch? Which I do watch them after I make them, but I don't watch them that often From the pages of Marvel Comics, Captain America takes to the screen in an explosive attempt to destroy his nemesis, Red Skull, starring Matt Salinger, Ronnie Cox, Ned Beatty, Darren McGavin, Melinda Dillon, and Captain America is a high-flying adventure for children of all ages. I forgot about it, but and also has Darren McGavin. I forgot to mention him, and Melinda Dillon, the sister of Kevin Dillon and Matt Dillon, the younger sister. So she's in it. I mean, that's a wham-bang cast right there. I mean, I really love the cast of really talented actors. And Matt Salinger, he was an unknown. So you got Matt Salinger, but then you have Ronnie Cox, Ned Beatty, Darren McGavin, and Scott Pollan. So you have all of them in it. And this is the plot of the film. The plot of the film is this. The superhuman secret weapon designed during World War II, Captain America is faster, stronger, and smarter than any man alive, except for his Nazi counterpart, the hideously scarred Red Skull. After fighting to a standoff during World War II, Captain America is catapulted to the Alaskan tundra where he lies frozen for 50 years. Red Skull, meanwhile, has continued his evil ways, masterminding the assassinations of American leaders. And I don't want to reveal too much, but if you read the comics, even prior to seeing this movie, then you'll get the drift of it. The movie, I think where the movie suffered, it was through distribution. This was supposed to get a big theatrical release, much like the 1989 Punisher. And the thing is, it didn't really get a big theatrical release. It was a movie that got a limited theatrical engagement, and then it was put on VHS pretty quickly. So much like the 1989 Punisher, which these are probably these are cult classics, and some people consider this a bad movie. I don't really consider this a bad movie. I think it's really very good, and granted it has a few cheesy moments in that, but I find them passable. One of my favorite lines is said by Red Skull. He's like, "That is small potatoes to what I have in store for you, Captain America," which that line probably comes off as being a bit cheesy, just using it as an example, but it is a really great line. I like it. There's a little bit of humor behind it, and Red Skull always had a sense of humor. And one thing they omitted from this movie is they omitted Captain America's sidekick, Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes is not in the movie, the character of Bucky. This is a movie, to this day, has not got an official DVD release, which I really wish they would have. When they did the remake of the 2011 Captain America, I found out they were going to release this on DVD, but it was only exclusive to Blu-ray DVD. It wasn't regular DVD. So they released it on Blu-ray, but they didn't release it on DVD. So yet people continue to bootleg it if they prefer the old school format of DVD like myself, which there's people out there that do. And it's cool that they made a special edition Blu-ray of it with bonus features. It's remastered in widescreen with really cool bonus features from what I hear. I've seen clips from the remaster of it, and it looks amazing. It looks brand spanking new. And I really wish they would have done an official DVD release of this. It still bums me that they didn't do that. But, you know, because I love it so much, I had to bootleg it. Because, you know, aside from Batman and the Punisher and Conan, as far as comic book superheroes go, Captain America is another favorite of mine. I like really dark superheroes that have a dark edge. And he doesn't look like a dark kind of superhero, but he pretty much is. I mean, he's a product of World War II, and World War II is a very dark time for world history. So, you know, the plot pretty much follows the comic book, and it's it's based what Joe Simon wrote, and I feel that the movie should have received better distribution. I think that was the flaws of the film, is it didn't get a very good distribution, much like the 1989 original Punisher. The remake of this I thought was okay. I wasn't really hugely impressed with the 2011 Captain America remake, although it probably followed the comic origins a little bit more than this did. I just felt that it was a little bit kind of boring. It's like, I think the reason why I like this so much is the atmosphere it creates, the use of music, and it's a piece of my childhood. It's very nostalgic. And another thing about it is the casting. The casting's great. I mean, you got Matt Salinger as Steve Rogers in Captain America. You got Scott Pullen as Red Skull. You got Darren McGavin, Ronnie Cox, Ned Beatty, and Melinda Dillon. And it's like, that's a really good cast right there. I want to say much more, and I'm not going to say the actors in the 2011 remake aren't good actors. They are. But they cast Hugo Weaving as Red Skull in the Captain America remake, and I feel like Hugo Weaving has been pretty well typecasted. He pretty much plays villains all the time anymore. And it's not that I have a problem with him playing villains, it's just ever since he did Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy, everybody wants him to play the villain, and it's just kind of gets old after a while. I don't know how much he enjoys playing the villain. But the thing I have to say is I really feel that this movie is really a great movie, and I don't see why everybody bitches about it. Okay, sure, the costume had rubber ears because he put on the latex rubber and around his ear, Matt Salinger, to wear this costume, and apparently it chafed his ear, and he had like a burn around his ear, and that. I can't even really, most of the time, I can't even tell that the ears are rubber. They look very real to me, and they do break the fourth wall and create theatrical realism. They don't look fake at all most of the time. I really like how he goes from three different places. He goes from America, Canada, and Italy, 3 different regions. So it's an action adventure and a fantasy movie, and I've always had a fascination with World War II Nazi Germany, and it's just like, it kind of has that kind of, that going on too. I mean, I don't know if I would go as far to say it's a really patriotic movie. Maybe you could say that. I don't know. To me, this is just an overall really fun movie. And I created my own fan edit of this with the bootleg I made, and I actually took, which I'm not a big, huge fan of his music, Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, which is a great protest song. And I feel like that kind of represents Captain America when I listen to it. You know, I think, well, what song would I listen to that represents Captain America? Matter of fact, I like this film so much that, you know, there's some cult movies of cult classic horror films and science fiction films and comic book films that I'd like to make music videos out of. So I might possibly make a music video out of this with clips from this film. It's something I've considered for quite some time to make my own tribute to it, and this is a fitting tribute to it too, to do a review of it, to say, I like this movie, I think it's underrated, fuck what the critics think and fuck what the fans think. Okay, people can be critical, people can be bitches about shit, and I'm not going to be a twat about it, I'm not going to be a bitch. You know, if you don't like this movie, then fuck off, you know, piss off, you know. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled not to like it. I know that Oliver Harper actually really likes this movie, and I was surprised. He's a British film critic. He actually really likes this movie and felt that the movie himself was poorly received, although it had a few flaws, which I admit it does have a few flaws, but I look past those flaws. I don't even really pay much attention to the flaws itself, really. I'm not a person that's too critical of a movie if it has elements I like. I mean, the thing is, it has a great storyline, it stays fairly true to the comic book. I like the acting, I like the casting, I like the directing, I like the storyline. It's a good action-adventure fantasy movie. Not only does it have that element, but I'm not really into love stories and stuff, like romantic type stuff, but even the romantic angle on this is really great. I think it's kind of cute in a way, and like I said in my Christopher Walken voice impression, it's a wham-bang kind of movie. I like it. You know, and it still pisses me off this has not received a official DVD release, although I'm glad that it was finally put on Blu-ray. And if not that, why didn't they do a DVD Blu-ray combo pack? The company that did it was Shout Factory. And you know, I prefer the retro format. I like DVD and VHS, rightfully so. So, you know, I did have this on VHS for very many years, and I was hoping that they would make a DVD release when the Captain America 2011 remake came out, but they never did make a official DVD release of the film. So henceforth, I was very pissed, very fucking pissed, like I wanted to smash something. I probably wanted to smash the 2011 remake because I really, in most cases, hate remakes. But for what it was as a remake, as far as speaking of the remake, aside from this film, it was a pretty decent film. But I'm one of those guys, I really like cult movies, and this is a cult movie right here. Some people don't even know that this exists. And like, wait, there was a Captain America movie in 1990? Yeah, there was. Prior to this, in the 1970s, they did a Captain America live-action two-part miniseries. That was really, really bad. People think this is bad. They should watch that 1970s two-part Captain America miniseries. The thing that was even worse is that the 1970s Captain America miniseries had Christopher Lee in it. Christopher Lee, though, I watched part of it on the Sci-Fi Channel a couple years ago, the 1970s two-part miniseries of Captain America. It was decent. Well, actually, it was shit. Fuck it. I said decent. The verbal diarrhea, excuse me. It was shit, okay? I fucking hated it. I thought the remake was okay, but this is far better than those. It's really dark, and I like how dark it is. It's like, the character, I really like dark superheroes like Batman and the Crow and Captain America and the Punisher and Conan. They have this really dark edge to them, and it's like, you know, the thing that's wild is between all of those heroes, the only one that doesn't have a really wicked look to him, that has probably a less menacing or more subtle look to him or subtle look to him, would definitely be Captain America. You know, I used to think when I was a kid, I used to think that Conan and Batman and even the Punisher and the Crow, I thought they were all kind of intimidating looking, and I guess they can be, but I mean, when I was a kid, the more friendly one out of those superheroes, because I really like dark superheroes, was Captain America. And I'm not going to say those other superheroes aren't friendly. They all are. They're very great people that make a change in the world against corruption and the forces of evil. You know what a superhero should do, and this is released by 21st Century Film Corporation, which was owned by Mannheim Golan. Mannheim Golan, like I said, in the 70s and 80s, owned 21st Century Film Corporation. They helped release a lot of other films too, and this company went bottom up after the early 90s. Aside from releasing the 1990 Captain America, and they also released the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but also 21st Century Film Corporation released a action movie called Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs was a really cool movie. A lot of people didn't like that either, but it had a really good cast of great actors with Michael Biehn and Charlie Sheen. And I think Bill Paxton was in it too. I could be wrong on that information. I'm pretty sure he was. Michael Biehn, Charlie Sheen, and Bill Paxton. I could be wrong on the Bill Paxton thing. I might have to double check that. But that was also released by 21st Century Film Corporation. As a matter of fact, on the VHS copy of the film, they show a trailer for Navy SEALs. So the 21st Century Film Corporation had a repertoire of releasing a lot of low-budget, independently produced films. Low-budget, really low-budget and big-budget, I should say, and they had that reputation, and they weren't meant to last, and after the early 90s they folded. This was one of those films that they released when they were on the brink of going under. 21st Century Film Corporation, and Sony Pictures was a shareholder of the rights of the 21st Century Film Corporation. Another thing is I do blame it on Sony Pictures though, too, is Sony Pictures owns rights to this movie, and they're kind of holding out on us, and it's like, I'm going to do a review later on down the line with subsequent episodes of another movie that Sony Pictures owns, where they also kind of fucked up the distribution of it too. and I'll talk about that in a later review. But I'm not going to say what that film is. I'm going to make it secretive to kind of leave people in suspense. But Captain America 1990 is a fucking awesome movie, a great adaptation off of the comic book. I really love this movie. I am a true fan of it. And if you don't like it, you can fuck me in my hole.